While NCIS Origins largely focuses on Jethro Gibbs' backstory upon first joining the agency, the series has done a lot to make Mike Franks feel like a much more engaging character. The series begins with the NCIS Origins cast investigating a murder case right after Gibbs joins the team. Although there are similarities between NCIS and NCIS Origins, the prequel show's early focus on the deaths of Gibbs' wife and daughter gives the show a much darker tone than the original series. This sets NCIS Origins apart from other NCIS spin-off series, which largely adopt the same more light-hearted tone as the flagship. Characters such as Mike Franks, Randy, and Woody do occasionally get to enjoy more comedic moments, but Origins is generally much grittier and prone to melodrama. But what really makes NCIS Origins stand out is that its own protagonist sometimes feels like an afterthought compared to the series' main supporting role, and there are several major reasons for this. Franks is a more expressive character than Gibbs. Gibbs barely emotes in NCIS Origins. Mark Harmon's Jethro Gibbs on the original NCIS is anything but a softie, but his gruff personality makes way at least some of the time for a dry sense of humor. Austin Stoll's portrayal on NCIS Origins contains no trace of this character trait, and at times it feels the show largely forgot to give Gibbs a personality at all. He struggles with rage and overprotectiveness of Lala a few times in the first half of the season, but his grief over the loss of his family generally lends itself to a quietly reserved performance by Stoll. This isn't really an issue with anyone else, and Kyle Schmid's Mike Franks displays a much more dynamic personality than Gibbs. Franks' emotions rarely stand in the way of his sharp tongue, and even his angrier moments occasionally lead to some rather witty lines. His emotional ups and downs make him more entertaining to watch, whereas Gibbs simply feels too static a character to be all that interesting. 4. Gibbs' main storyline is basically over. There's nowhere to go with his wife's killer dead. Despite the series setting up a revenge plot involving Gibbs looking for his family's killer, it's revealed halfway through the season that Gibbs already got his revenge off camera months before the series even started. This was definitely an effective twist for how unexpected it was, but it also ended Gibbs' main story arc somewhat anticlimactically. His main arc right now merely revolves around the Operation Sundown mystery, which doesn't clearly tie into Gibbs' personal life as meaningfully. Just yet by contrast, Frank's storyline has been a major focal point since Gibbs' twist revelation. It's not clear yet whether Franks will follow through on getting justice against Tish Attacker, and even his plans to do so have caused major drama. The series has also shown a bit more of Mike's past family life, and it seems there may be some unexplored backstory about his time in Vietnam as well. That all gives Franks significantly more plot lines to explore than the series has established for Gibbs thus far. 3. Gibbs' story doesn't really affect anyone else. Jethro largely fights his own inner demons alone. Franks provides Gibbs with a lot of moral support early in the storyline about his family, but that plot's resolution hasn't affected Mike in any discernible way thus far. The only NIS member affected by Gibbs' revenge has been Lala, who's now in the unfortunate position of knowing Gibbs took someone's life on a rogue excursion. But that hasn't had any major impact on Gibbs and Lala's relationship, nor is it clear whether it ever will. In fact, the person arguably most affected by Gibbs' backstory has been Ruth, who was merely a one-time character.